Leaders get candid and big issues get broken down on the record. The U.S. Senate race for Dick Durbin's now open seat is getting closer and closer to the primary. We talked to one of the current frontrunners, Representative Krishnamoorthi, on his Senate campaign. Thank you for coming on. And my first question to you would be, you're already a congressman and you kind of risk your seat running for Senate. What made you think running for Senate would make you be able to do a better job in the legislature than being a congressman?
Well, look, it's great to be with you. And as you know, I'm from Peoria. And so I've kind of brought my Peoria values to Congress in addition to my own life story and experience. You know, when we first came to this country, unfortunately, we fell on economic hardship. But thanks to the generosity of the American people, I was allowed to move into public housing and food stamps when things went very poorly for us economically. Eventually, my father made it on his feet and then got a great job in Peoria, teaching at Bradley University for the next 40 years of his life. That's where we entered the middle class, and pretty much every night my father would say, think of the greatness of this country, and whatever you do, make sure this country is there for the next families who need it. That became my mission statement, if you will, my why. And so I've been pursuing my why in Congress for the last decade. And when Senator Dick Durbin decided to retire, I decided to seek a promotion in order to have a bigger platform, to have a bigger impact and a wider impact in pursuing that mission, which is to try to make sure this country is there for the next families who need it, especially now in a time of economic chaos, which we've seen unleashed in the Trump administration for people from farmers to folks who are about to lose their health insurance because of the legislation that the president has pursued here in Washington.
And you talk about that impact. You recently released a 24-point plan. That's a lot of points, but one thing that did stood out for me was your plan for housing. We are kind of in a housing situation where many can't afford to buy their own home. What's your plan to get Illinoisans in homes that aren't beholden to landlords?
We make a few points with regard to that particular issue. One is, what has worked in the past is actually a tax credit for first-time homeowners, which helped, especially in the Obama years, get a lot of people into their first homes, and we'd like to resume that now. Secondly, we need tax credits for the conversion of empty commercial real estate to be converted into residential real estate, because there's a shortage of residential real estate right now. Third, we have to reduce red tape. We have to reduce the regulatory burdens associated with building housing and making sure that small businesses, others who are building this housing, are put on a level playing field with others and can add to the stock of housing, thereby making it more affordable for everyone.
And I think one thing I do want to bring up is that Illinois politics is very dominated by Chicago Democrats. You know, the governor's from Chicago, Tammy Duckworth is from the Chicago area. Most of our congressmen and congresswomen are from the Chicago collar counties, which leaves some in downstate Illinois feeling a little left out of the conversation. How will you, as the potential next U.S. Senator, keep downstate in that conversation?
Well, I'm from downstate. I'm from Peoria, from Brookwood Lane. In Peoria off War Memorial. And I think that is in my DNA. That's part of my roots. And I will always think of myself first as as a Peorian at heart, even as I've moved to different places in Illinois and I represent the suburbs right now in the United States Capitol. But I think I'm unique in terms of being a son of downstate, with deep ties to downstate Illinois, but representing the suburbs and, of course, doing business with folks in the city of Chicago. And I think that combination will help me to represent the entire state in the United States Senate.
All right. Thank you so much, Raja. Appreciate it and hope to see you on soon. Next up, we'll have another Senate candidate explain why he's running. But first, we'll have your local weather authority. Stay tuned.